Mobile shares down 1% after hours despite delivering its best second quarter results ever. Joining us now is T-Mobile President Mike Sievert. Mike, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here.
Of course, David.
I appreciate it. And it looks like we're looking at shares after hours. Are these after hour shares? No, I think this is, yes, it is. So we're up now. I mentioned that they were down. They've reversed course. They are now up almost 2%. So I had to get that correction out there. Let me just first talk with the general. America, I remember when I was growing up, there was one phone company. There was Ma Bell. And from that, we have gone to what we now have, about four big cellular phone companies. How might things change in the future?
Well, look, this announcement today was a demonstration that the market's in great shape. We delivered our best Q2 ever today, the highest service revenues in our history, the highest EBITDA in our history, and we took more new customers than the rest of the industry combined ×2 on the postpaid phone front. And by the way, that industry structure that you're talking about now includes the big mega cable companies of Comcast and Charter.
It does indeed, but you know, when you're looking forward to a merger with Sprint, a lot of people say competition is good. The more companies you have, the better. If that number is reduced by one as a result of your merger, some people say, hey, maybe the consumer is going to end up on the short end of that stick.
Well, the reality is the biggest driver of competition in a market like ours is capacity. And what we're doing with the new T-Mobile is creating an unprecedented network with, and get this, 7 times the current capacity of Sprint and T-Mobile. With that unprecedented capacity, we're going to bring competition to AT&T and Verizon and Comcast like they've never seen.
What is the government specifically telling you have to do to make this merger work?
Well, it needs to be pro-competitive and it needs to be pro-consumer. And that's what we're confident it is. You know, 3 months ago when we announced this deal, we said, look, we want to be able to make our case that this is great for Americans. And since then, we've been hard at work. We've filed our public interest statement. We've filed our S-4 registration. We've met with every major group in government. And we wanted a chance to tell our story and hopefully to open ears. And in the end, we remain very confident that the government will see the pro-consumer and pro-competitive aspects of this deal and ultimately grant approval.
One thing that consumers want desperately is to cut the cord, as you know. How will this merger affect that? Will it help the process of cord cutting? And if so, in what way?
In a big way. You know, this is going to be the first time that the entrenched cable companies and wireline companies have seen real competition. We are entering the broadband market with this new T-Mobile. We're going to go after 10 million homes and bring real competition to home broadband while strengthening competition in mobile simultaneously.
And finally, I got to ask you about the Trump administration deregulation and how that's affecting your business specifically. There have been a lot of attempts to regulate the Internet in the previous administration. This administration is much more hands-off. How is that affecting your business?
Well, you know, the business is working in a good regulatory environment right now. And one thing that's really helping us is tax reform. You know, we were able to reiterate a long-term outstanding cash flow guidance of 46 to 48% over a multi-year period, in part due to the effects of tax reform. And in addition, this deal that we're announced with its $43 billion in potential synergies for our shareholders is also a beneficiary of tax reform.
Well, Mike Sievert, congratulations on being the new president of T-Mobile, and congratulations on a good day. The stock is up about 1.5% after hours. Appreciate you being here.
It was a knockout quarter. Thanks for you. Thanks.
Absolutely. Come back and see us again.